Hi, this is Victor Morganti from Vive, and you're looking at the Boston Conceptual Modeling tool. Today we'll be looking at subset constraints and join paths in object role modeling. And the model that we have before us, cinema bookings, is courtesy of Data Constellation and the ActiveFacts project, which you can find a link to in the description below. The model is basically about making bookings to watch a film at a cinema, where a person books a number of seats for a session where a film is showing at a cinema on time and date, and where the cinema contains a row that contains a seat, and where that booking is for a seat. Today we'll be focusing on this subset constraint here. And if we read what the subset constraint actually means, it says if some booking has some allocated seat, then that booking involves some session that involves some cinema that contains some row that contains that seat. So quite obviously we want to constrain that you can only book seats for a session where a cinema has a row that contains that seat. So I'll walk through it. So a booking has an allocated seat, where the booking is involved in some session that involves some cinema that contains a row that contains that seat. So there's two arguments. The first argument is where a booking has an allocated seat, and that's in blue here. And then the second argument follows a role path that completes that second argument. So I'll take you through the process of actually creating the subset constraint. So firstly we'll delete that subset constraint, so we'll remove it from the page in the model. In the toolbox we have subset constraints, so I'll just drag that onto the page. And we're going to set up the first argument for the subset constraint. So just click and drag to the first role and the second role, and that's created the first argument. To create the second argument, click on the page, and once again click and drag from the subset constraint to the first role and then to the second role. Notice that Boston automatically tries to create the join path for you. And once again, if we click on the subset constraint, we can read if some booking has some allocated seat, then that booking involves some session that involves some cinema that contains some row that contains that seat. We can create join paths manually, and the reason why we allow that is because Boston can't always find a join path if the join path is, for instance, ambiguous. So I'll show you how to create a join path manually. Firstly, we'll remove that second argument. So we're going to say remove argument number 2, and we're sure that we want to remove that. So to create a join path manually, just click on the subset constraint, click on the first role, and then hold the Control key down on your keyboard and map out the join path. When you get to the last role, release the Control key and just click on that last role, and the join path is created for you. So that's subset constraints and join paths in object role modeling inside the Boston Conceptual Modeling tool. Thanks for watching.